Okay, I'm fairly certain I figured out who Supreme Leader Snoke is. I definitely know who he is not. He is definitely not Mace Windu. He's just not. That's stupid. Come on now. Let's be realistic. He's Darth Sidious. Of course he's not. That would take away from Vader's story arc. Fallen hero becomes redeemed by the sun. Vader's destiny was to bring balance to the Force. He destroyed the Jedi and the Sith. So I just don't see Disney doing that kind of backtracking and destroying everything. Palpatine died. That's just it. I also don't believe he's Darth Plagueis. Disney has done a lot of work trying to distance themselves from the prequels in marketing and in the new Episode 7 movie. So I don't believe that they would have an obscure comment made in Episode 3 the focal point of the next two movies of a sequel trilogy. It was a good try though. I mean, being Plagueis kind of would have been exciting to see. I hope he remains a moon though and not a human or humanoid. But Supreme Leader Snoke, I do believe that I have some actual evidence that might lend credibility to this theory. Not so much in canon, because of course they're going to keep that tight-lipped under wraps, no big hints thrown out there until right before or after the movie. I believe Snoke, Rey, and a tree are all intertwined. A tree, you say? Yes. In the Shattered Empire comics, Luke Skywalker went off with Poe Dameron's mother, and they recovered two Force-sensitive trees from an Imperial outpost set up by Emperor Palpatine. He gave one tree to her, which she planted and it grew and all that good job. He took one himself. Don't know what happened to it. I haven't seen it yet. Anyway, leaked set photos show a tree on the island where Rey encountered Luke Skywalker. Presumably a Force-sensitive tree. That's why it's such a big focal point in this set photo. I mean, it's a massive, massive tree. And there are rumors going around that Rey is the reincarnation of the first light side user, let me say, or something of that nature. She is the reincarnation of the first light side user, also a female, they say. Which sort of makes sense because it's not exactly the chosen one kind of prophecy, and it's not a rehash of the original trilogy, Episode 5. So that is very interesting to see. And would be a nice step in a new direction that they really haven't gone yet without going too far out there for Disney and Lucasfilm. Anyway, how Snoke is connected to this is that there's a yin and yang. There was a dark side brother, the first dark side user. This tree helped both of them tap into latent Force abilities on this island, Octu, or whatever it's called. Anyway, I believe she presumably defeats him. He goes off, something like that. She goes off too, dies, whatever. Anyway, I think in order to lend some credibility to that without hearkening too much to the prequels, the dark side is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural. That's what Palpatine said. I don't believe this is a reference to Snoke being Plagueis, but that if you become so powerful in the dark side, you can prolong your own life through different means. I don't know if Snoke is using essence transfer or what have you. This may be the original body, but I believe Snoke is the original dark side user, which would explain why a lot of people believe he is an ancient dark side entity and why Palpatine was searching for the source of his power, the source of the dark side in the Outer Rim, which I believe is where Snoke was, which fits with the ancientness of him because I believe Snoke is the first dark side user. This would also explain why he does not have the fiery Sith eyes. He has gone to a place so dark that his eyes are just colorless. They're just black. He's gone beyond the Sith. This preserves Vader's story arc, as well as mixes in something new that's not necessarily something from the prequels that they've got to harken back to, but it's their own idea, which I think is what Disney really wants to push with this next movie, is that, okay, we did our fan service episode 7, and now we're going to take it in our direction. So here we go. But that would explain possibly why Snoke also has his deformities and scars going on, is that the old version of Rey, before she was, quote, reincarnated, that they had some kind of duel. She came out on the upper hand. Maybe he escaped or something like that. Found a well of the dark side, sort of like what was going on in the Clone Wars, maybe, which would explain how he was able to also prolong his life. Maybe he took it with him because his base of operations is supposed to be mobile or something like that. So I believe he's confined to a small area on a ship that's helping him prolong his life, explaining why he's such an ancient dark side entity, because he was the first dark side user. Explains the Sith eyes, preserves actual real life story elements that nobody wants to rehash, and we want new and exciting adventures, and I know Disney wants the same. It would explain his scars. It would help see why he's so interested in Rey and her immediate connection to the Force, able to use the mind trick, summon the lightsaber to her hand. Not necessarily that the lightsaber calls to her, that she is related to Luke Skywalker in a blood physical type of way, but maybe a metaphysical type of way. Maybe she is the embodiment of the light side of the Force. Snoke is the embodiment of the dark. Perhaps he wants to... His deal with Kylo, I don't know. Maybe he's trying to take Kylo to a point where he walks both the light and the dark side, where Snoke can harness all aspects of that, and maybe he can use essence transfer on Kylo's body. I don't know. But that would explain why he's so interested in Rey, why he wanted Kylo to immediately bring Rey to him, wherever he is. But I think this theory holds some credibility. I'm sure there's holes in it. I mean, there's holes in movies all the time that are finished, so feel free to agree and poke holes and contemplate in the comments section or whatever. Hope you enjoyed my little theory video. See you next time.